Now at 6:30, calls for Ohio University to change where it invests its money.
We will not stop, we will not rest these clothes.
Athens residents take to College Green to voice their opinion, what they are saying tonight.
We are going to deliver the America First agenda.
A blueprint for a federal budget is making its way through Congress, including drastic cuts to Medicaid. What the proposed cuts could mean for your benefits.
And in sports, a major upset at the Ohio men's basketball game at Western Michigan. Find out what went wrong and what's next for the team. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Donovan Varney.
And I'm Alex Mwali. Welcome to Newswatch. Warm weather continues into this week, but is it going to stick around?
For more, we'll send it on over to forecaster Steve Nedlick. Steve, what can we expect tonight?
Yeah, guys, it's been an absolutely beautiful week so far, and tonight is going to continue that way in terms of temperature. However, we do have some rain on the way. Right now, we're looking at temperatures sitting at 62 degrees, and that's pretty great for this time of year. And we're really seeing that throughout a majority of the country as we're seeing these numbers at 62, 60, all the way up to 70s. You know, it's great for this time of year and unseasonably warm. Now, unfortunately, with those nice temperatures, we are seeing some rain in the area. Nothing crazy to ruin your evening plans, but it is some light rain that is going to be kind of annoying for your nightly plans. Again, tonight, a low of 44 degrees. So nothing really crazy, not too chilly, but again, that rain is going to be in the area. As we look at tomorrow, that rain does stick around in the morning, but we see that high of 50, which is going to be beautiful, and it's going to stay above the seasonal average. Stay tuned to find out what the rest of the week looks like.
Thanks, Steve. The Athens Justice Coalition is demanding Ohio University to divest from weapon manufacturing and fossil fuel industries.
A group of students protested on College Green today, asking to negotiate with OU President Gonzalez directly. The coalition claims OU profits off of investing in corporate companies that supply weapons materials to the war in Gaza, such as Boeing and Raytheon, as well as major gas companies Chevron and ExxonMobil. AJD member Leighton Heiner says the university's endowments contradict their eco-friendly image.
It's incredibly hypocritical, especially since OU presents itself as being a really eco-friendly, sustainable type of institution, but our investments don't reflect that. They actually completely contradict that.
The coalition says they are trying to negotiate with the university on ways to invest in more sustainable companies.
2 people are dead and 1 is injured after a shooting in Lancaster. Lancaster police responded to a behavioral health problem last night around 5:30 p.m. The police report says an officer encountered the armed suspect and exchanged gunfire. Body cam footage shows the suspect crawling along the ground outside a residence before he was apprehended by police. The 26-year-old suspect was taken into custody and is receiving medical treatment. A woman was found outside the residence with at least 1 gunshot wound, and she was taken to a hospital. Police also say 2 men were found dead in the residence from apparent gunshot wounds. The Lancaster Police Department and Bureau of Criminal Investigation are investigating the incident.
Ohio lawmakers are proposing a bipartisan resolution to Congress to fight the rise in food stamp fraud. In the past year, thousands of Ohioans found their SNAP benefit funds compromised when their electronic benefit transfer, or EBT, cards were hacked. Between October 2022 and the end of last year, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services paid over $12 million in food stamp reimbursements. The new resolution asks Congress to increase funding to reimburse victims of food stamp fraud and improve the technology EBT cards use. Some lawmakers have proposed switching EBT cards to have embedded chips, which are more secure. Republicans are working to craft a budget framework that can clear both chambers of Congress. It includes both tax and spending cuts, as well as a new energy and border security funding. But Medicaid could be on the chopping block if both parties can't reach an agreement. Amy Kiley has the latest.
We are going to deliver the America First agenda.
A budget resolution that squeaked through the House last night could be setting up a battle over Medicaid.
Medicaid is hugely problematic because it has a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse.
The measure is not a finalized bill. It's a framework for negotiations with the Senate that's likely to get pushback in that chamber. It proposes an $880 billion reduction in health and energy programs over a decade. President Donald Trump says Medicare cuts are off the table. So moderate Republicans say it's hard to make the resolution's math work without affecting Medicaid. Their colleagues across the aisle are more blunt.
And that means not only probably throwing millions of kids off health insurance, it means also making major cutbacks for nursing homes.
The House framework also contains sweeping tax cuts.
They want to pay for it on the backs of seniors who are living in nursing homes. They want to do it on the backs of Meals on Wheels. They want to do it on the backs of hot lunches for kids.
It's true, most seniors in U.S. nursing homes rely on Medicaid to pay for that care. But some Republicans argue changing Medicaid is not the same as eliminating its popular programs.
I'm not going to throw Granny off the cliff and people who really need Medicaid and depend upon that for their health.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
President Trump held his first cabinet meeting with an unexpected guest, Elon Musk. Musk heads the Department Government of Efficiency, but was not elected to the position nor confirmed to the Senate, unlike the other cabinet members. During the meeting, Musk discussed the controversial email sent to federal employees over the weekend, asking them about their productivity. Musk said the email was not meant to scare people.
To be clear, I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons? So if you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email.
The deadline to respond to Musk's email passed earlier this week.
6 recently fired federal workers could temporarily be back on the job soon, thanks to an independent protection board that reviews complaints by government employees. Their move is considered one of the first direct rebukes to President Donald Trump and his Department of Government Efficiency mass federal layoff. Laura Aguirre has more.
Overall, it's a travesty.
Attorney James Eisenman is the former general counsel of the U.S. Merit Systems Protection Board, or MSBP. He's been watching the recent widespread federal firings closely and agrees with the current board's 45-day reinstatement of around a half dozen fired workers.
There's no real consideration for the impact of these firings on the agencies, on the mission of the agencies, and on the individuals themselves.
Consideration aside, legal concerns abound.
To me, it's just an assault on the rule of law.
That's what the MSPB, working with the Office of Special Counsel, will investigate over the next month and a half, representing the workers as they bring their wrongful termination cases against the Trump administration through a network of over 60 administrative judges nationwide.
The administrative judge conducts a hearing, much like a trial, except there's no jury. That decision from the judge can be appealed to the 3 board members at headquarters of the MSPB.
The initial wave of cases could be a testing ground for what's to come.
It's obviously very stressful.
This FAA employee, afraid to be identified, is among many waiting to see where DOGE downsizing strikes next.
Managers, most of the times, are not even knowing their employees are being fired. They find out from the employees.
Eisenman says the, quote, slash and burn approach to agency cuts will hurt more than the employees and their families.
More importantly, it will harm the public at some point.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Trump administration has signaled it wants more power over the MSPB as it technically falls within the executive branch, despite having a level of independence granted by Congress.
More than 100 intelligence officers are being fired for allegedly participating in sexually explicit conversations in National Security Agency chat rooms. The intelligence agencies were told to identify employees who participated in the sexually explicit chat room conversations and terminate their employment by Friday. The officers will also have their security clearances revoked. In a statement, the NSA says potential misuse of these platforms by a small group does not represent the community, adding that the investigations are still ongoing.
The U.S. may increase aid to Ukraine in its war against Russia. The 2 countries have been holding talks over the past few days regarding the U.S. getting access to rare earth minerals in Ukraine. In exchange, the U.S. would help end Russia's invasion and provide Ukraine a reconstruction fund. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is coming to Washington, D.C. on Friday to sign the agreement.
We understand that the U.S. will be one of the countries, or one of the leading countries, who give security guarantees. then this could be a success or the first step towards the sustainable, fair peace growth of the Ukrainian economy.
Zelensky has said his country will not repay the money it previously received from the Biden administration. Details about the potential deal have not yet been released.
Coming up, flu season is in full swing. What simple habit experts say can boost your immune system?
And American consumers have concerns for the economy, and those concerns could lower the nation's GDP. Find out how when we get back.
Rain and colder weather are on the way. Stay tuned to find out more.
The gentle storytelling and picturesque setting of All Creatures Great and Small on Masterpiece continue to enchant PBS viewers. In a new special, we'll discuss the warm, folksy wisdom found in these timeless tales. We'll hear from the cast and creators of the show, and also local residents, including the daughter and son of the author. Join us for All Creatures Great and Small, the wisdom of the Dales.
Sunday at 8:30 on WOUB.
You're a mother-to-be, and I'm your midwife. The more you tell me, the more I can help you.
The Board of Health have declared war on Nonata's house.
What are we going to do, sister?
We are going to fight back. This is our place in the community.
We are going to do this together.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. Vehicles like me can bring significant funds to public television. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax-deductible.
It's me, Tiffany Aliche, the Budgetnista, and I want to help you get good with money.
Tiffany Aliche is an award-winning teacher of financial education and author of the New York Times best-selling book, Get Good with Money.
I'm going to show you in 10 steps how to reach financial wholeness so you never run out of money. You want to know what those 10 steps are? Yes. I know you do. Join me for Get Good with Money.
Monday at 10:30 on WOUB.
We've had some beautiful weather to begin this week with a bunch of sunshine and warm weather, and today was no different as we had highs in the 60s and are currently still at 62 with, again, mostly cloudy skies because we're going to start seeing some of that rain move into our area, but again, right now it's just clouds. A majority of the country is seeing these warm temperatures, and it's really, really nice to see as opposed to what we were looking at earlier this month and even last week. We're seeing these temperatures start to rebound. Now, the reason we're going to see a little bit of a dip in these temperatures is because we're going to have this front move through that's going to bring with it clouds, a little bit of rain, but overall it's not going to drop off too much. What it is going to do, though, is provide just a little bit of rain and a lot of wind, because when this front moves through, it is going to bring winds 15, 20 miles an hour. So tonight, that might be a little interesting. Now, the rain that it's bringing, looking up north, it's going to present itself as snow, maybe some ice, but temperatures down in southern Ohio are just a little too warm for that. And you can see here with our precipitation in the form of rain, but it's very light rain. So if you have anything to do tonight, maybe take a raincoat, and it shouldn't ruin your plans. It's just going to be very light but consistent rain with, again, those winds in the area. Again, tonight, a high of 44. So again, nothing too crazy. Those temps are going to stay right where they should be, and we'll see that through the end of this week. And looking at tomorrow, they'll stay about where they are. 50 degrees, which is going to be perfect for this time of year, nice and above the seasonal average. But again, that overnight low is going to dip to about 32, and that's where we're going to see that low. Looking at tomorrow, not much after the morning hours. That rain is going to stick around through the morning, but after that, we're just going to see a slight dip in temperatures because that rain is going to help cool off the air. So we're going to see a high of about 50, 53, and it'll be nice and pleasant for you on your morning or evening commute. Tomorrow night, we see, again, that little bit of rain in the area. But what we really need to look out here is this high pressure system that's starting to build over the Midwest, and that's going to help clear our skies out. And on Friday, we're going to really see those showers move out, and it's going to leave us a pleasant Friday to have any plans we might want to get into. But it'll leave those temperatures at 53 degrees. On Saturday is when we start to see our highs dip a little bit. with a high of 42 degrees and again, an overnight low of 21 because of that absence of clouds. On Sunday, again, mostly clear skies with a high of 35, but we're going to start seeing temperatures that are more seasonal for this time of year, and you might want to break back out that winter coat. And on Monday is when we see a little bit of an uptick, but not too much. So we got kind of pump faked by Mother Nature, but it definitely was something welcome to see. And on Tuesday and Wednesday is when we may see a jump back to our above seasonal averages. But again, this week is kind of a mixed bag again.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So we just got a taste of that warm weather, right? But now you're saying it's going to get colder again.
Yeah.
When can we expect this warm weather to stay and not leave us immediately?
You know, it's Ohio, so this time of year you can never really guess. But again, Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to be pretty nice out, but the consistency is never there. It could be snowing in April for all we know. But cherish it while it's here. Again, the rest of this week should be beautiful.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Thanks, Steve. And when floodwaters rush into an assisted living facility in Kentucky, the outcome could have been tragic. But thanks to an evacuation plan, nobody was hurt. A creek flooded on February 15th and washed out surrounding roads in Elkhorn City. That's including a health and rehabilitation center, where crews spent 12 hours getting folks to other facilities. One resident is thankful to the talented crew.
They took precautions and got us all out and had the regular routine and everything went perfect.
Just a couple of months before, the facility came up with an evacuation plan in case of flooding, and once the natural disaster swept in, the team executed that plan, keeping everybody safe. Residents at the facility were only gone for a day.
The Pope's health is looking up as the Vatican reports a peaceful night in the hospital. The Pope is still on oxygen, but he's continuing treatment and resting. And he's showing some signs of improvement. He was admitted to a clinic in Rome more than a week ago and tested for a respiratory tract infection. The Pope was later diagnosed with pneumonia.
We're in the peak of respiratory virus season, and the CDC says the number of people seeking health care for these illnesses is high.
Especially when it comes to flu, which is causing a substantial number of emergency room visits in Ohio and nationwide. Mandy Gaither has more on one daily function that could boost your immune system.
It's been an intense flu season so far. Nationwide, about 27% of tests are coming back positive for the virus, and there's also RSV and COVID-19 to contend with. But getting some good Z's may offer some protection.
Sleep does play a crucial role in supporting and regulating the immune system.
Michelle Drerup with Cleveland Clinic says adequate sleep can actually help the body defend against infection and inflammation. And the key to getting good shut-eye is focusing on sleep hygiene.
So things like making sure you're limiting or avoiding napping during the days and not having caffeine too late or exercising too late. All those things may be important and helpful.
Other ways to promote good sleep: make a habit of going to bed and getting up at the same time every day. Keep your bedroom relaxing, quiet, and at a cool temperature. Turn off electronic devices at least 30 minutes before bed. Avoid large meals and alcohol before bedtime. Drerup says to also only use the bed for sleep and allow time to wind down.
The crux of it for a lot of people is that sleep is a natural process, and we don't want to force it or put a lot of effort into it. That actually makes it harder to fall asleep.
And if you're having persistent sleep problems, Drerup says to see a doctor. There are treatments that can help. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Consumers are worried about the economy and finding a new job, according to two new surveys. A survey from the University of Michigan found people don't like the direction the economy is going, and they're even more worried about the tariffs in the equation. Another survey from the Conference Board says people feel secure in their current job, but finding a new job seems hard.
I was just thinking, if I want to change job or if my kid coming out of university needs to look for a job, it's going to be more difficult than it was like 6 months ago.
But economists say consumer actions are what really matters. Consumers make up about 2/3 of America's GDP, and big corporations have already seen changes in consumer behavior. Walmart is already preparing for a slowdown in sales. This could mean 2025 will be a rocky year for some retailers.
Next in sports, Ohio men's basketball came away with a loss last night and couldn't follow up Saturday's win with another, falling to Western Michigan. Find out what went wrong when we come back.
A deadly disaster. In a critical shipping lane.
Nightmare scenario.
How could a modern ship lose control?
From the time Dolly lost power until it hit the bridge was 4 minutes.
Could it happen again?
This could have been prevented.
The race to reopen.
There's so much pressure on the beam.
After the Baltimore Bridge collapsed.
That's very dangerous.
On Nova.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running, running, running all through the night. You can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
Ohio men's basketball was at the pinnacle of the mid-major college basketball world the past few days, being the only team to beat Akron in 2025 and end the nation's longest winning streak. That joy quickly subsided last night after falling to Western Michigan on the road. Saturday's game against Akron felt like the first game all season. Everything clicked for the Bobcats, but last night's loss was everything the Bobcats struggled with coming together. They got out-rebounded once again. They let the Broncos shoot 50% from the field, and star A.J. Clayton struggled once again, going 0 for 5 from 3 and scoring just 6 points. This definitely hurts Ohio's chances at a top seed in the MAC tournament. The Bobcats had a chance at taking the 3 seed last night, but the loss now has them tied for 5th. Luckily, with 3 games left, there's still a chance to climb up in the standings, and the final week and a half of games seems to favor Ohio. The Bobcats' last 3 games are against teams you saw in the top 8 on your screen, but both Miami and EMU come to Athens, where Ohio has only lost twice all season. On the road against Toledo definitely presents a challenge, but the Rockets have lost 4 of their last 5. They're struggling. You already saw the game against Ohio on Toledo's schedule. The Golden Rockets, in theory, should take down Buffalo with ease. The Bulls are already eliminated from MAC tournament contention, but the Rockets still have Akron on the schedule. The good news, though, that one is at Toledo. Kent State also has Akron on its schedule, but the Northeast Ohio rivals have already played at Kent this season, so the Golden Flashes face a taller task at hand. May not matter for KSU. There's an argument that they're the hottest team in the MAC right now. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. A lot of talk about seeding and getting hot at the right time over on the men's side, but for Ohio women's basketball, it's either make the MAC tournament or don't make the postseason, period. The Bobcats have had a rough season, but they're coming off back-to-back wins for the first time in 2025. They will have to increase that winning streak by a lot if they want to sneak into the MAC tournament, and that starts tonight against Bowling Green. Top 8 teams make the MAC tournament, and while the Bobcats sit just 2 games back from Western Michigan, an Ohio loss and WMU win would mathematically eliminate the Bobcats from playing in Cleveland 2 weeks from today. Have to win no matter what from here on out. On the high school side, we're already in tournament play and progressing through it rather quickly. The Eastern Eagles out in Reedsville made it to district semifinal last night. They had a tall task at hand against the 1 seed. The other Eastern Eagles, the ones out in Beaver. Reedsville Eastern couldn't have started better. I have never seen a team coming out shooting the lights out like they did. An 18-0 run to open the game. These guys could not miss from beyond the arc. Beaver Eastern is the 1 seed for a reason, though. They slowly chipped away at the lead all game. Now, late in the 4th quarter, who's going to step up and make a play? It's Tyler Leist with the go-ahead 3. Beaver Eastern takes its first lead of the game in the last 20 seconds. They hold on to win 66-62. More high school basketball playoff games are on the horizon with 9 district final games at the Combo this weekend. Go to woub.org/sports for all coverage. Let's go ahead and send it back to Alex.
Thanks, Grant. Still ahead, the world's best cup of coffee has been announced, where you can go for the best cup of joe.
President Trump is off to an astonishing start and has Congress in his corner.
What we're doing is delivering on the mandate that the American people gave us.
But Democrats are pushing back.
It's unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American.
We are going to fight in every way we can.
What are the president's next plans for the American people?
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
You can turn things around at any time.
You are more than prepared, okay? We have it in the tank.
NFTs have expanded the scope of what I'm able to do.
Something I've been trying to sell for years, sold out in 3 days.
It's like mind-blowing to me.
When I play basketball, I feel like there's nothing that could stop me.
You don't see that many people that are Asian ranked on ESPN, and I wanted to show people that I could do that.
I saw myself spiraling downhill with my health.
He went from an insane amount of pills, and now he's doing 150 miles a week at almost 70 years old.
California now possesses a state-of-the-art prison.
We were placed in solitary confinement for decades.
Let's do a nonviolent act. Let's do a hunger strike.
It's not 100%, but I'm not going to quit.
If the worst thing happens, we'll still be a team.
On Secrets of the Dead.
At war's end, Bruno Loza is a former Nazi. He's an art plunderer, but he was acquitted, and he was free to do what he wanted. He knows that to revive his career, he needs to go to America. The museum world just explodes. They need works to exhibit.
There was too much money to be made, and there were no consequences.
If Loza's life is indicative of anything, it's that the crime of plunder pays for itself.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
Coffee lovers will have to go down under for the ultimate pick-me-up.
Toby's Estate Coffee Roasters in Sydney, Australia won the top spot on the list of the world's 100 best coffee shops. Onyx Coffee Lab, headquartered in Arkansas, came in the runner-up slot, while Vienna's Gouda Coffee placed third.
Contestants were rated on their coffee and food quality, customer service, and sustainability practices. Toby's Estate opened in 1997 and has branches in other areas, including the Middle East and Asia.
Well, to quote Buddy the Elf, you did it. Congratulations, Toby's Coffee, world's best cup of coffee.
Hey, I'm just wondering whatever happened to Starbucks.
Hey, well, that might be a little easier than flying to Australia.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little out of season for that, though.
Yeah, yeah, a little out of season for a Buddy the Elf quote. That's right.
Absolutely.
Christmas movies are a little bit past us, especially with some of the warmer weather we've been seeing. But are we going to see any more snow, maybe?
Right. I think we may have seen the last of the snow for just a little bit, because we've had these temperatures sitting well above average at 50, 53 over the past few days, and that's what we're going to look at heading into this weekend. We're going to see a little bit of a downtick with those highs 42 and 35, but then as we head into the beginning of next week, we again see a little bit of a tick up, and it's going to again maybe feel like spring just a little bit early, but we may see those temperatures dip back down. It's too early to tell.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alex Mwali.
And I'm Donovan Barney. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night, guys.
Support comes from Explore